My voice, yes, was ignored, but tens of millions of Americans' voices were ignored. I encourage my colleagues, Democrats particularly, to get out into rural America and sit with people, listen to them, have a cup of coffee, and understand they're not racist. They're not bigots. They're not anti-Semites.
It's not just about the campaign. It's about what does the Democratic Party stand for.
The reason we didn't win ultimately is we didn't listen enough to people on the ground.
So some of the Democrats' harshest critics are fellow Democrats, reflecting on the millions of Americans turning away from the party as they grapple with their election defeat. Rich Edson's tracking all that. He's live in Washington, D.C. There was a lot to say on Sunday, and they said it, Rich.
Yeah, they did, Bill. Democrats say they know there's a problem. They're just all over the map on how to fix it. Some say the party needs a much different approach on immigration.
Let's have a serious debate about what border security looks like for Democrats and make sure that we bring in a lot of different views on this. Remember, it wasn't that long ago that we had Democrats on TV literally denying that there was even a crisis at the border at all. We've got to have that debate.
Moulton also told the New York Times his party spends way too much time trying not to offend anyone, like on trans issues. He says as a Democrat, he's supposed to be afraid to say that he doesn't want a formerly male athlete running over his two little daughters on a playing field. Other Democrats say President Biden saddled Vice President Harris with an unreasonable situation.
I think she had, some hills to overcome. The fact that her campaign started, in the middle of the summer, obviously, it would have been better had that not been the case. Now, we can't go back and change history. We can't go back and change President Biden's mind as to whether he should have launched a re-election effort.
Former House Speaker Nancy Pelosi told the New York Times she thought there'd be an open primary to replace Biden, and had he stepped aside sooner, there may have been other candidates. Pelosi also clapped back at Senator Bernie Sanders, telling the Times she doesn't respect Sanders saying that the Democratic Party has abandoned working-class families. Sanders wants a more progressive party. He says it should come as no surprise that a Democratic Party that abandoned the working class found the working class abandon them.
Yeah,
Bill?
Did not really give the opportunity to get to know her. Not a single press conference in 100 days. Doesn't help. Rich, thank you. Rich Edson, Dana.
Let's bring in former Trump advisor Alexa Henning and former director of message planning under President Biden, Meghan Hays. I'm so glad to have you both on. I thought this was, Meghan, I'm going to start with you because I feel like the Democrats are the ones that are reeling and trying to figure things out. So this was from a CNN focus group. They asked, pick one word to describe Republicans and Donald Trump, and one word to describe Democrats and Kamala Harris. Crazy, said the white woman in her 40s who hadn't gone to college. Then preachy, and asked to pick between the two words. The woman said she'd probably go with crazy because crazy doesn't look down on me. Preachy does. I'll let you take that wherever you want. I'm curious if you heard anything different over the weekend that would enlighten us as to how Democrats are going to grapple with this loss.
No, I think that's absolutely right. I think the Democrats have lost their way. We abandoned the working class. The electorate is more moderate than I think that the Democrats were expecting it to be this time around. I think that, we do need to refocus and recenter ourselves, and we need to understand that sometimes you have to move to the middle to be able to get things done on the left. And I think that that's one thing that the party is going to be grappling with moving forward. No, I have not heard really much different than that over the weekend, except the party wasn't where the electorate was, and that's why we were not successful on Tuesday.
Let's pull up call for number 3. It's pretty just astounding, Alexa, how much money was spent to get so little on the Democratic side. Watch.
The truth is, this is just an epic disaster. This is a $1 billion disaster. Jen O'Malley Dillon promised all of us that Harris would win. She even put videos out saying that Harris would win. I believed her. My donors believed her. And so they wrote massive checks. I feel like a lot of us were misled.
And then, Alexa, I was looking at this, the $1 billion campaign, and some of the things they spent, $15 million plus for celebrity event production. They paid Oprah Winfrey's organization $1 million. And they were still asking all of these people to give small dollar donations to the campaign.
Right. And you see now, after that has come out and that they paid the Call Her Daddy podcast over 6 figures, that's even more egregious now, knowing that FEMA purposely was directed to ignore Trump houses, signs with Trump houses. That's terrible. And the Call Her Daddy example is kind of overall speaking for how the campaign was. It was a lot of smoke and mirrors. There was a lot of celebrity endorsements, free concerts, billed as rallies. There was no substance. And so, the campaign, I think, wanted to coast on vibes, but vibes doesn't pay off your car loans.
Yeah, vibes were like cotton candy. They melted on contact. Evan Barker, I got a laugh out of Bill on that one. All right, good. Evan Barker, she worked for the Democrats, but she ended up voting for Trump. Listen here.
Especially now after, working in Democratic politics as a fundraiser, living out here, I've noticed that there is a cultural attitude and cultural resentment that many people on the left have towards people in the middle of the country, towards Trump supporters in general. I think we saw that very clearly in the final few days of the election when Joe Biden came out on television and called the majority of the country garbage.
So, Meghan, what way do Democrats go from here? Do you have a piece of advice? We have a platform for you. Any advice you want to give?
I think we should be moving back to the center. I think we should need to be investing more in the middle class and the working class people of our party and go back to what the backbone of what our party was and what was built on. But I do think that that's going to take some soul searching from people. I think we're going to have to get a lot of the left on board to move more moderate. But if we do not, we're going to continue to lose elections, and that's going to be really interesting as we start to look towards the midterms and then to the next presidential.
Alexa, I know you live in the great city of Dallas. Any interest in going to Washington, D.C.?
Well, I did that for a while, but glad to be back in Texas.
Okay.
I do think that it's important that the Democrats, you saw from some of the reaction that they're like, cut off your family, cut off your friends, and cut off your hair, and that reaction just isn't productive.
Yeah, it's just making it worse, like rubbing the spot on the wall. It doesn't work, guys. It doesn't work. All right, Alexa and Meghan, it's great to have you this morning. I hope you have a great week.
I'm Steve Ducey.
I'm Brian Kilmeade.
And I'm Ainsley Earhart. And click here to subscribe to the Fox News YouTube page to catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis.